Sri Lanka is facing a political limbo. The country's President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe have agreed to resign after protesters forced their hand on Saturday. They stormed the President's house and torched the Prime Minister's. Protesters say they are determined to occupy both residences until the leaders officially leave the office. Currently, calm has returned to the country. On Sunday, the residents of Colombo were seen inside the presidential palace. Some were curious, others marveled at the luxury. They swam in the swimming pool. They slept on the four-poster bed. They cooked and had a panic. Protesters say that they will not budge till the president resigns on Wednesday. Listen in.
He has already told the speaker that he will resign on 13th. So we will be here till 13th or 14th to see whether he will resign or not. Because we are not we don't trust him anymore because he has already broken our trust, our country's trust, and he has already sold our country. So we are not in the position to trust him or our Prime Minister at the moment.
Have to negotiate with the IMF. Those discussions are going on. So we have to see what happens. Clearly, many of the debts which they have, they will have to discuss with the lenders how to restructure them. But there is of course a bigger issue, which is really how do you manage your finances, and how do you have a prudent fiscal policy. So in many ways there are issues relating to the management of the economy, but at the moment our focus is really on helping them.
Now, reports suggest that the president was rescued by the Navy and is currently taking refuge on a vessel offshore. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has meanwhile announced that he will resign on July 13th. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe also said that he would also step down in order to allow an all-party interim government to take over. According to Sri Lanka's constitution, the Speaker of the Parliament is expected to lead the political transition to a new government. The Parliament is expected to choose the next president within a month, though it is unclear whether they will be able to select a candidate who has the support of the majority of lawmakers and the eyes of the public. President Rajapaksa's party still holds a majority in the parliament, and without their cooperation, a credible and legitimate government cannot be elected, and mass protests may still continue. A stable government is critical for the country. It is in the middle of discussions with the International Monetary Fund for an extended lending arrangement. These negotiations are crucial to getting Sri Lanka out of its economic crisis, and as of now, they are at a standstill. Meanwhile, the political chaos in the country was triggered by frustration over the worst economic crisis the country has seen since its independence. The country has a severe shortage of foreign currency that has stalled imports of essentials such as fuel, food and medicines. The financial meltdown worsened after the COVID-19 pandemic, which hammered the tourism-reliant economy and slashed remittances from overseas workers as well. The situation has been compounded by large and growing government debt and rising oil prices as of now. And for more on this, our correspondent Dasuni Athoda has sent us this report from Colombo about the ongoing political developments taking place in the country. Listen in.
In the coming week, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is slated to resign on the 13th of July, and with Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe also expressing his intention to resign after forming a newer government. Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardene is slated to take over as the acting president of Sri Lanka. It is now up to the politicians of Sri Lanka's parliament to decide for a new prime minister who will garner the confidence and the majority of the House and that of the people. Stay with WION as we track the very latest developments, both economically and politically here in Sri Lanka. Reporting from Colombo, I'm Dasumia Kauda.
For more on this, we were also earlier joined by Dr. Aruna Kulatunga, who is a political analyst and former advisor to the Ministry of Primary Industries from Colombo. We asked him about how long the country will take to recover after a transition government is placed. Listen in to his analysis.
The first focus should be to restore the credibility of the country amongst the donor countries, amongst our creditors. That's our first priority. Second priority, of course, is to build up the exports, to build up the economy in terms of the local economy, and see how we can get our dollars back. So, and also that goes to the credibility that we have lost amongst our expatriate workers, because the expatriate workers are not sending the money back to Sri Lanka. So if we can do these three things: first, build up the credibility with our donors and the creditors, build up the credibility with our expatriate workers, and then start somehow or other to push our exports out back to the world. That's what we have to do. There's definitely a possibility of that happening. So that is why I said it's going to be very problematic in the next couple of days. I think efforts are being taken to bring in maybe a former minister who was in the Poduchana party, which is the president's party, but who left that party or distanced himself from that party about a year ago, basically as an interim president. That effort is being taken. I'm not 100% sure whether how that would succeed either. So you are right. I also foresee a vacuum forming at least for next 2-3 months, and that is my fear, is that with that vacuum forming, all of the negotiations, all of the positive steps that have been taken in the last 2 months to resolve this issue is going to come to a complete standstill.